Hey guys, this is Matt from hydroponics.com. Today we're here with Dominic from Gavita Lighting.
How you doing, everyone?
And we're going to have him give us a rundown on some of his products, how to best use them, and why they're the best in the game.
Yeah. All right, well, we've been in the industry for over 33 years, pioneers. We were in Alsmeer, which we still are, in Holland. We basically make high pressure sodium lighting. That was our first start. Now we perfected the double-ended high pressure sodium technology, which you see right here. This is our 1,000 watt. Here we have the 600-750 flex, which is better for smaller capabilities. We have a 600 single end as well, which is not here, but I can explain that as well if needed. And this is the plasma here, which is a different type of technology when it comes to the spectrum, but we can explain that as well, Matt, if you like.
Yeah, so I guess first we'll talk about why double-ended bulbs are better. I mean, obviously they put out higher power, a better spectrum.
Of course,
a little rundown.
Yeah, to see, you can easily see it in the lamp itself. You'll see here, it's a full arc tube. It's connected on both ends. So of course it's going to have a lot more light intensity hitting the right spots. You're not going to have an end where there's just no reflectivity on this side. And it's going to be a lot more parallel with the ground. So the light that's coming out of it, with this reflector, you're basically hitting the areas you want to hit, which is very important to increase your yield.
And the bulbs do last longer as well, right?
Yeah.
The light change efficiency double.
Yeah. We always say that it's best to change them at least once a year. You're going to lose 4% of your yield. You can run them for years and years, but if you were to put the investment in, it's worth the penny when you see it in the monetary value.
And then the reflectors, a lot of people think that the small reflectors means a small light or a weak light, and that's pretty much the opposite. This is to focus that light down, right?
Exactly.
It's only like what, 60% of your light. 60% of the light is coming off this reflector. Is that about right?
Correct. Yeah.
So we're around 40% is direct, and around 60% is reflected. So that reflector is really important to getting that light out of it.
Like a lot of things, people always think bigger is better, and that's not necessarily the case. It's really about where the light is getting pushed, and that. Simply.
And then this is the German stamped aluminum, so probably the nicest aluminum out there.
Yes, yes.
And because aluminum does degrade at what, a couple percent per year?
Yeah.
Because of heat, because of dust?
Heat and dust, yeah. And it's very hard to wipe it. If you wipe it, you're just smearing it. It's not going to help reflectivity. Again, that's the other thing. They're very easy to change. Take the lamp out, you just pop these, slide it out. This has a little lever here. You just lift that up and takes it right out. And you can change them all once.
Do it probably right with your bulb change.
Yep,
just
do it at the same time, and
that's a
6% increase is notable. So
awesome. And then we have the 1,000 behind me here. This runs up to 1,150 on like what would you call it, turbo or just max? It's just maxed out. And now is it alright to run that all the time, or would you recommend kind of towards the end of the bulb's life, or do you have to run that constantly?
It depends, of course, on what you're doing, what you're growing. A lot of times in flower, you may want to boost it that high, but it doesn't need to be that boosted. A lot of people make the mistake of going huge, going big, saying I'm hitting the biggest and the best. You don't necessarily need to have that intense micromole level. Of course, it depends on what you're growing. There's a lot of aspects.
Perfect. And then the 750 is going to be just the baby brother of this. And this is so if you're in, a basement, you're in a lower ceiling height, and you can't get away with the 1,000 watt light, you're still going to get the benefits of the double-ended light.
It's much more yield than using a single-ended, air-cooled, and of course, it's going to run more efficient than a dim 1,000. Those people that go too big and I'm burning, I need to dim it. You might as well went with the flex. The flex works great.
And then this also goes with the 825. And the 825, it's probably competing with an air-cooled 1,000 at that point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So for 825 watts, you can be competing with a 1,000 watt light that's air-cooled, obviously. Even probably not air-cooled, honestly, at that point with the double-end technology.
Well, simply put, basically with a single-end air-cooled reflector, for the most part, you're going to lose about 45% yield. Reason being is, you got glass, that's
dusty glass.
10% of the light's going to get thrown off. The ducting holes is taking about 5%. But the main thing is blowing air over a lamp that wants to run hot. You're going to lose about 20 to 30% loss of voltage. So basically, right there is your 45%.
And that's another common misconception that a bulb running hot is just because you haven't cooled it down enough. But that's there's an operating or optimal operating temperatures with all of those bulbs. And if you dip below that, you're starting to hurt yourself.
Cool the room, don't cool the lamps.
Yep. And that's another part of that ideology is to get the most out of your light possible.
Exactly.
And let your air conditioning do the work that it's supposed to do. And so the next, I guess, we'll jump to Your plasma lights, these are really unique. I've seen multiple videos on these guys have made that have their light spectrometer comparing it to the sun, and it's almost identical.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look at this type of light, it's very orange to our eye. But here you'll see it's very natural, like a natural sunlight.
Looks like sunlight.
Yes. Yeah. And it's tough to even compare it. You don't even tell it's on, being so close to the window on a sunny day. But it is.
It's hard
on.
to see. It really is hard to see it.
But
and so this is probably not going to be the big yielder. This is more for quality of spectrum.
Exactly, quality.
And quality increases quality across the board. Or quality of whatever you're growing should go up by adding quality of light.
Right. It's gonna show the spectrum. This spectrum, for example, you're gonna have a lot more UVA and UVB on this end here. That's what this is putting out. It's the other end. So it's basically, I always say it's like taking your plants to the gym in layman's terms. It's bulking it up. It's giving it all the good qualities that you would want in a plant.
And you hear nonstop debate between outdoor, indoor, outdoor having higher turf, higher bricks with anything you grow. That would be a really good way to compete with any kind of supplemental light that you might get in a greenhouse by using plasmas indoor as a replacement for your sunlight.
You get the best of both worlds running both.
Absolutely. And would you say, the way I've seen these used most efficiently personally through social media and online is basically sticking them between your Gavitas.
Yes.
Lining them up, Gavita, and probably still 4 foot on center with your Gavita somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And then putting your plasmas in between.
Yeah, depending on the room, of course, but in most aspects, they're usually run same level right along with in a one-to-one.
And that's going to give you just an overall great blend of super potent HID light and a super, daylight spectrum. Kind of just a really good blend. And then you guys make an air-cooled version of this as well?
We do. They're not really seen much in our industry. I think that's more used on the commercial end for very large situations. They're only 270 watt. So if you're running 1,000 watters,
you're going to be able to see those in there.
Yeah, it's not going to make much of a difference when it comes to energy and heat.
And then we'll talk lastly, just about their controllability. This is also controlled by their controller. We'll get it over here. And this is the EL1.
That'll run up to 40 lights.
We can talk about that. So yeah, EL1 runs 40 lights, and then the EL2 can run up to 80.
Yep, you can do 40 in one room, 40 in another, and you can do them on an inverse or together, so you can do a day while one's a night.
So it acts as a flip box.
Yes,
basically. Perfect. And then with this, you can turn this up and down just by touching the button. So
everything is. Yep, you daisy chain all the fixtures together. You can even mix and match flexes if you wanted to with plasmas. There's a percentage level you can change instead of doing wattage. So you can do, say, 80% and it'll run 80% on the thousands, 80% on the flexes.
Great.
That's something not many people know, but I don't know how many people would actually use the flex in the thousands.
Yeah, but that's good information. That your
rooms, I guess.
Percentages is nice. It's across the board.
Yes, you can do either percentage or wattage. But the great thing about these is you can set the time to come on and off. The other feature it has is you set the temperature of what you want the room to be. If the room gets too hot, if something were to go wrong with your AC or something happens and the temperature goes up, once it reaches that level you don't want it to be, it will slowly dim all your fixtures until the suitable temperature is met again.
So like from what I can see then, this is a timer, it's a dimmer, it's a high temp shut off. And then it also has a sunrise, sunset function. I think that's really unique to your guys' lighting as well.
Yes, you can set an interval for whatever your cycle is, say 20 minutes. 20 minutes when the lights go on and 20 minutes when they go off. They'll slowly go off, slowly go on.
And that would help with, amongst one of the main ones, room humidity.
Right.
So, you guys, people have that where your lights snap off and that humidity spikes. Your lights go off slowly and evenly. That humidity should be much more of a gradual progression, allowing your humidifiers to kick on and everything else to keep up.
Yeah. I mean, if you have your lights on for 12 hours, they all shut off. Bang. That dew point's going to change.
That's right. Yep. So so I mean, this is 4 products in one. 2 of which you can, one you can't even, 2 of which you can't even get. Oh, I guess the dimmer you could maybe find that for lights. I don't think that's really out there.
Yeah, not with the Gavita. Gavita's.
And then the sunrise, sunset. You can't find that anywhere.
We stand to make a quality product, so when people use this properly, you're going to get quality results, and it's shown.
And then last but not least, this is not, you don't need this, which is also cool. Like, they're not going to hold you to using their controller. These lights can still be plugged into your standard hubs, and they can still be ran on normal timer functions. So, you know, until you want to try their controller, you know, you can still upgrade to a Gavita, keep your lighting the exact same that you've had it, plug it right into your normal system, and everything will just run the same. And then eventually you want to upgrade to their controller, you can just do that in the future. So it's not necessary to buy it off the bat, which I like, because you know, you're not stuck with it right off the bat.
As long, of course, as long as you get the E-Series.
The E-Series
to run with the controller in the future.
That's a good point. They do make the classic still, which is a little cheaper, which is nice.
Yeah.
If you don't need the controllability of it, you're not interested in it, and if you want the controllability, make sure you're getting the E-Series. That gives you the ability to hook up to the cable and control everything with these controllers.
And still, the start, it's good. If you only have to, say, start with 6 fixtures, it's very easy. If you want to dim them, you just go to each one and just turn them down manually. But this will do everything on its own if you were to put it in the controllers.
And I guess last couple of easy questions, you know, how high away from plants would you recommend keeping your 1000?
The 1000, I would definitely say 36 inches from the top of the canopy. You would want to be there. If you were maxing it out to 1150, you may want to be closer to like 42 inches. But yeah, that's a good nutshell. If you don't have 36 inches from the light to the top of your canopy,
Finished canopy.
Yeah, you would want to probably go with the Flex or the 600 single end.
And the 750?
That can be 30 inches from the top. The single end 600 can be 24 inches. And the 600 is not your typical 600 HPS. It's a 400 volt. So it does have a little over 100 more micromoles than your standard HPS.
Yeah, that's another good point. We didn't talk about their 600. You know, that single-ended 600, it doesn't have the double-ended technology, but it's the best 600 out there. You're still getting, you know, their engineering, you're still getting their efficiency, their reflector,
FCC compliance,
you know,
you're getting all in one.
You know, a horticultural grade bulb, you know, that comes with it. So yeah, if you are a 600 watt guy, you can still get into this Gavita lighting. You can still use their controller. You can still run single-ended, but they make one of the best ones on the market out there right now.
That's what we strive to do.
Yeah, oldest horticultural lighting company in the world, as far as I understand. And yeah, man, we love selling your guys' products. I really appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here, man.
Yeah, really appreciate Dominic coming out and talking to us today. And check us out on our website. I hope this video got you fired up about Gavita, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks. That's great, dude.